Hey, guys, it's Amber
And Kristen,
with Long Range Talks.
good luck.
We've been on one today. Today, we are going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of the holiday season. And also, apparently, there's a Mandela effects or
There's several of them.
Mandela effects surrounding Thanksgiving. So, we're going to be talking about that as well. So, welcome to our show.
So as far as Mandela effects, we actually just sat here and discussed which ones we were going to talk about because there is so many that go around the holiday season.
Mhm.
However, Thanksgiving has their own.
Yes. So, one of the things that has been brought up recently is the date of Thanksgiving. Now, I know that this year it seems later because I always felt like it was always been like around the 23rd, 24th,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the 26th, a couple of times I remember, but I always felt like it was the third week of November. So now they're saying that it's always been the fourth week of November.
And it hasn't. Like, you've had a few more Thanksgivings than me, but I remember it always being the third Thursday. Always. And it has never, to me, it's never been this late because even like Black Friday, you used to be able to go Black Friday shopping and still feel like you had plenty of time to Christmas shop.
Before Christmas.
And now it's right on top of it.
Right. And going into December.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's what, 2 days before? 3?
Yeah.
It's somewhere in there.
Like right there, right with it. But I mean, I do feel like it is later this year, but I went back and I looked because I was like, maybe I just was remembering wrong or something. Every year it has always been, according to the calendar
on your phone,
on my phone, the fourth Thursday of,
which of course, like we were saying,
November.
They can change your phone calendar because I remember there's a few, like this one's not a holiday one, but this one is so relatable. The sweepstakes. Say that Ed McMahon was not the one that walked around and knocked on your door.
Ed McMahon does exist. He's there.
Yes. And then they have the Golden Girls that have an episode actually of talking about Ed McMahon knocking on their door. And it's like you can delete some things on the internet, but you can't delete a TV show.
You can't delete it all.
So it's interesting to see. And then the fact that there's so many people that remember it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we just made it up in our heads, which sometimes I can do. But
it makes me feel crazy. Like I
sometimes feel like that's what they try to do to us.
But so one of the other things is that this one got me big time because this 110%.
I like how you remember
it. They are saying that the Pilgrims never had buckles on their hats, on their belts, or on their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Now I remember this because the buckles is the absolute my most favorite thing to color when we would color pilgrims growing up, because it was so easy to stay inside the lines and the buckles. And now they've taken it from me.
Mine was the bigger parts, but hers was the buckles.
I like the buckles.
Well, I don't remember the buckle on the belt, but I remember it on the hat and the shoes. And I'm like, you know how your parents like would save some of the stuff when you were growing up, and I have a ton of stuff from what I drew in like elementary and middle school. And I sit there and I'm like, I wish, but how did we know they were going to start making stuff up?
Yeah, take it away from us and make us think we're crazy. Well, I know the Pilgrims had buckles, and I pulled it up because I was like, there's no way that's a Mandela effect, and it's every bit gone. All of the Pilgrims are wearing black. Solid black. There's no buckles anywhere on them.
Yeah, we definitely had a moment with that. That's for sure. But there was a few more that aren't even. There is so many going around right now, which the Mandela effect is kind of popular right now. But I think it's because certain ones pop up at certain times, and then it kind of gains its traction again because these are big deals because a lot of us remember those things.
And now they're saying that they're different.
I remember a few years ago, I was talking to somebody about Thanksgiving. I said, well, it's the third Thursday. And they were like, no, it's not. But it is.
Well, see, I don't know that I ever really paid attention to how many weeks was actually in November, like ever before, until this came about. But I still remember thinking, I used to always think that Thanksgiving fell on the 24th, regardless. Like it was like one of those Christmas deals.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, a few years back, it fell like on the 22nd or something like that, and that threw me off. But then they had said then, well, no, it's the third Thursday of November, and I was like, oh, okay, so whatever that date falls on, but it's not the third Thursday; it's the fourth Thursday.
No, and then it's like we were talking about Columbus and sailing the seven seas.
That's another one that they talked about.
How he landed at a different time than what we were told in school.
So I guess we celebrate Columbus Day, what, in October? Like the first part of October? I don't even know when Columbus Day is.
I'm going to agree because I can't remember.
Yeah, I know it's in October. The bank's closed. But they're saying now that people remembering landing in America in November and not October, right? Yeah, recall learning Columbus landed in America during November and not in October.
Which is weird to me because why would Columbus Day be in October?
If he landed in November.
He would have still been floating in October.
Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't have time if that's the. And so does that mean that technically Thanksgiving should be in October?
Don't get them started.
So another one of the things that they said, and Kristen's going to have to say this because I cannot say this word.
The cornucopia.
Yes, not even going to try it.
Oh, please do.
Oh, no.
She didn't say anything near that when you said it, and I was like, the cornucopia?
So I can say the horn of plenty. I can say that. They say that for years, people remember that being a symbol that appeared around Thanksgiving on the Thanksgiving dinner tables. That is not there. Never was, didn't happen, was not there.
No. But they also say it wasn't in the Fruit of Looms.
And I colored it also. I remember coloring those in school. I love to color. So I remember coloring those, and I remember coloring the buckles. And
if you want Amber to remember something, just put coloring pencils in front of her.
Put it in a coloring book because that's how I'm going to remember.
I'll get you coloring pencils for Christmas.
I love coloring pencils. Way better than crayons.
You can sharpen those. Oh, you can sharpen crayons too.
I know, but
it's not the same.
So anyway, do you all have any out there? Let us know if you remember Thanksgiving or anything a certain way as you were growing up or the last couple of years, if you felt like it's changed. They're saying that new historical documents show that Roosevelt actually set the official date in 1941 for Thanksgiving. So
you can't ask a dead man. So
no,
don't do something good. But now we're gonna
everything up.
We're gonna cruise into the do's and don'ts of the holiday season.
This should be very interesting. So a lot of this came from our internet people that follow us online. They've left these comments, and we'll just scroll right through them. So here is a don't. Alcohol is there for you to help get you through. Don't fight at the dinner table, but do take it outside and live stream it on entertainment industry.
I was going to say, as long as we take it outside and live stream it, I'm game.
Well, that's our first do's and don'ts.
Well, and I think that's kind of the don't overindulge.
Yeah.
Most people know their limits. Like if it's a younger person, like in their early 20s, okay. Like you want to be cool, I get it, whatever. But
some of them old people can.
I've seen a few stumble.
Get out there
just a few times. But that also comes to like Thanksgiving is such a family event, and then you have kids there, so you're having to monitor the kids from the adults because the adults are falling all over the place or wanting to fight
or getting rowdy.
Yeah. And then, my kid wants to swing. And then what am I supposed to do? Tell my 2-year-old he can't beat up a 25-year-old? Because he probably would swing. Just ask him.
When invited to gatherings, bring a side item or at least a thank you card.
I'm glad you read that because I did not know what your second word was on that paper.
Because I scribbled it. Don't ask so they're saying don't ask if you need to bring something, just bring something. Even if it's just a thank you card for the invite that they've invited you to come to dinner.
I know I used to tease my grandma because I could not cook when I was younger, and I finally learned how. And I literally would say, I brought myself. Like, I'm here.
That's what you get me.
Yeah, that you get me. Sorry.
I would bring to-go plates. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I can bring the silverware. I will even bring the nice stuff. You know, the Dixie plates.
So this one came across a couple of times. Do not kiss on babies or touch babies' hands.
No.
New babies coming in to family gatherings because there's so many germs and just nastiness out there. Keep your lips and your hands to yourself.
And that's, you know, my niece, she's the one that commented that she had premature twins. And that's a huge thing because people think it's disrespectful that you're a grandparent or you're this or you're that, so you should be able to. Well, you know, I look at my niece as one of my kids. Like, I will treat her as my child when I'm around her because she's always saying that. And I'm like, well, it's hard for me not to kiss on them babies. However,
it's almost selfish. Like it is, but it's almost like a natural reaction. Like when you see a baby, you just want to grab it up and kiss on it.
And I'm guilty.
It. I am too.
Yeah, I've had to catch myself with the twins because Caleb, my 2-year-old, he was very immune. Like, his immune system was messed up when he first got to come home. And I had to be so strict, which his birthday is December 28th. So it was right around everything coming out. And I had to be so strict on, you know, kissing on him or being in his face because you don't even have to kiss a baby to give them something. No. If you get in a child's face, because here's my thing, if you wouldn't do it to an adult, why are you doing it to a child? Because if you get in my face, it's not going to end well. Yeah, I need my space. So you don't, I think that's kind of like a global thing. It's not the right word, but you know what I mean? Like universal, that you just don't get in people's faces. And if I ever catch myself that I'm getting ready to like kiss or love and snuggle on a baby, I'm like, oh, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, just stop.
And don't get me wrong, Maddie's caught me a few times, like getting kind of close because I'm like,
and you know what? If a parent does tell you to stop or not get
respectful,
yeah, don't get rude with them.
It's their child. It's not yours.
They're just trying to protect their baby.
Well, and
because RSV, that's RSV, like, yeah, that's
and
huge
it can kill
right now.
Newborns, the kissing,
even the elderly.
Oh, big time. And I don't really see the big deal in certain things. Like, my kids don't even get the flu shot, but they never get the flu. But I will say, as far as, you know, the stuff's going around. The weather's changing. So you and I were just talking about that. You know, we're getting congested, like just nastiness is going to happen. But you don't know if you have something.
Yeah, you have no idea. A carrier, and
you can be carrying strep throat and have no idea. Speaking of the twins, they gave everybody the stomach bug, but they didn't know. And then we're all calling each other like, how sick are you? Because every one of us was sick. And
kids are always good for passing that around.
Exactly. But it's like, that is how susceptible babies are specifically, but especially immune compromised. And which premature babies are, even though they are a year old now.
You can blow kisses at them, or, you know, wave at, just don't get in their face.
Just be respectful of the parents, because you're not their, it don't matter your relationship, you're not their parent. It doesn't matter how much you like it or don't.
So here is another one. And this is kind of, it will help you mentally. You don't have to say yes to every event that you're invited to. Know your own boundaries, know what you can handle and what you can't. Just because you can't go to every single one doesn't mean anything. Go to what you can.
Be like me and make everybody mad, and then you don't get invited to anything. I get invited to like 2 things, and I'm like, yes, I only got to go to one.
Now, when I still lived in Harlan, there was a lot of times I never did Thanksgiving. No, I never did Thanksgiving. But there was some other holidays that I would just have at my house. And if everybody wanted to come to my house instead of me having to go to everywhere else, that was always nice.
Yeah, to me, Thanksgiving is really not overwhelming, but Christmas is, especially. I feel like some people have to understand that when you have as many kids as I do, I have 4 kids. It's hard to haul 4 kids to 5 different events a day. And then Christmas Day, you have something else pop up, and then you got to take them to that.
Well, then you've got to have your own Christmas too at the house. Yep. I mean, that was something that was big with me. Like when my kids were little, I always tried to do our own little small intimate Christmas, so that was something that they could remember and carry on. When I was little, we would always go to my grandparents' house, and then we would have Christmas at our house, Christmas morning. But we didn't go to. Now, after I got older and got married, then it was split, and then we had to go to his family and his grandparents and my family and my grandparents. So, I mean, it does get tough, and don't feel bad. Don't feel bad at all if you say, no, I'm going to set this one
and
out.
don't go anywhere you feel unwanted.
Yeah.
Because it's a holiday. It's meant to be happy. And I will not step foot somewhere I don't feel wanted.
Yeah.
I've tried so many times, and now I'm just like, nope, sorry, I'm not doing it. And that's like the whole split, I go to my ex-mother-in-law's, and my husband and I go over there and we hang out over there and, have our turkey.
And you have fun.
And ham. Absolutely.
And you have fun.
And we have games, and just, it's always fun. It's always relaxing. It's not uptight and just
tense.
Yes. And I'm not one. I hate being around people like that.
Some holidays can be tense. Like, I get it. But, I mean, do whatever makes you happy. That's the way I see it.
Amen.
So I will say this one just because it was funny. I think it was left to be funny.
Oh, it was meant to be. It was meant to be funny.
So one of our viewers said, keep your hands above the waist when you're hugging your hot sister-in-law. Now, my response was that, how about you don't hug the hot sister-in-law or call the sister-in-law hot?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a hugger, and I'm like, you don't go below the waistline.
Yeah, anywhere.
No,
with nobody.
No, because it doesn't matter where you are. We can be at the bar, and I'm like, up there. Yeah, it's respect, and it was meant to be funny. Which the person it came from, it's even funnier.
Yeah.
But yeah, because his wife is.
But
pretty
I did
hot.
put it down, and I am blasting you on here. Yes. You're watching.
But at least you have a hot wife.
Yeah. Be mindful of dietary restrictions for guests. Now, that was a big one in my family growing up because I have a family that is literally allergic to everything under the sun. My sister is highly allergic to eggs.
Thank you, Tommy. You have a wonderful Thanksgiving as well.
Thanks, Tommy. My sister's highly allergic to eggs. So nothing.
No deviled eggs.
She cannot be in a room where eggs are boiling. Yeah, she cannot even be in a room where eggs are boiling.
That would be the biggest nightmare for me.
Well, it's something that was always that we just always learned how to, like cakes and pies and stuff. We all had to learn how to fix them without.
You can fix them with mayonnaise.
No, she can't have mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise is
eggs that's got eggs.
Never mind.
Yeah. So, we all
thinking I'm smart for a minute.
But I mean, be mindful of that, especially if you're inviting them to your dinner. At least know.
And try to work around it because it's like the whole egg thing. There's a lot of things that have eggs. And imagine going somewhere for a dinner and you can't eat. And you're going to sit there and eat ham and turkey. And that's if they didn't mix all the stuff together.
Right. Yeah, because they can't touch. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Justin's lactose intolerant, but he can eat stuff that has cheese and stuff on it. He just can't drink milk because if he drinks milk, he ain't coming home. But I get that. I mean, I don't have no food allergies because I love food.
And it's not really, I don't guess maybe about allergies. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing because, like I said, I mean, my whole family is allergic to everything. My nanny was allergic to nuts. So, nothing with nuts could be around the house. But say you've got somebody in your family that is a vegan or a vegetarian or something, Stop. Be mindful and put something that everybody can eat on the menu so that way everybody can eat.
It went back to the hot sister-in-law.
Moving on.
No nuts in the house. So Amber's not allowed.
Moving on. Don't cling to traditions that no longer serve you or your family.
Make new traditions. Make new ones. I know growing up, we always had Santa would come visit us at night on Christmas Eve. And that's how we did that with our Christmas. So now my kids, Santa comes at night because we're not at home on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
However, that gives us all Christmas Day because we don't have any plans.
Yeah.
So
we always did that. Santa would come at night on Christmas Eve while we were asleep.
Oh, see, he comes before we get home.
Oh no, we were always asleep. We always had to rush home if we were out, because growing up on Christmas Eve, we did go to a friend of the family's house and have like a little dinner and get together there. But we always had to like rush home and, you know, get in bed. I can't even tell you what time it is that we had to be home, because it gets dark at like 3:00 now. But I mean, that was always the thing. So he came while we were asleep. Mm-hmm.
Which he comes to our house while we're gone, but that's because we are so busy Christmas Eve. And then when we get home, they'll want to play with their toys for a little bit. Then we crash, then they have all day Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I don't have to get up super early because they're excited.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 3 Christmases ago, because Caleb will be 3, it almost got ruined because I was being induced. So we had to like push Christmas up. So Santa made a special trip to my house like on the 22nd. Because I didn't know if I was going to be home.
And that's okay. Like, you made it work. You know,
Yeah.
there was a lot of times, especially in a split family with the holidays, you have to make it work for both sides.
My ex-husband and I, we would split the kids. There was never it's your Christmas, my Christmas. It was, okay, I'll do the first part of the day, you do the second part of the day, and then we'll figure out where they go that night. Because it's so important, because it don't matter how much him and I were fighting. That's so important. Those kids need that family. Yeah. And they need that attachment. So I agree, especially even when you're married, split the holidays. Yeah, don't go anywhere you don't feel welcome, but if you feel welcome, split the holidays.
Split the holidays, split it up. And with the traditions, you know, make your own traditions. If you don't have to stick to what you did growing up. Now, I did with my kids, but we also changed it a little bit because we were in a split family. So, you know, we had to change it up every once in a while, and that worked too. It's like whatever worked.
Well, and as long as the people that are having the get-togethers are mindful and care enough to work around each other, because you know it's hard to work with everybody's schedule, but if it's somebody you're super close to, your parents, your grandparents, whatever, most of the time you can figure out a schedule to where everybody can see the kids.
Yeah, well, and I have a friend that they do their Thanksgiving on Saturday. It's not on Thanksgiving. And a lot of people do that because a lot of people have to work during the holidays, and they're not off on Thursday, or they have to go in early on Friday, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, they do theirs on Saturday.
Yeah. I'd like to think Danny's laughing at us.
I know, even they're laughing too. Okay, so here is the big one, and I really liked this one. Ask your teenagers about hobbies instead of if they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Don't ask kids if they have boyfriends or girlfriends.
Yeah, I think that is a big, and you know, my nanny used to do that growing up. She would always ask that question. But I think it's better if you let the kids know that you are interested in what they're interested in.
Yeah, and if it's something that you can carry on a conversation about, or it's something you can learn about, there's always 2 different ways that can go. Yeah. So
yeah, but I think that's I think that would go over a lot better with the kids. And you know what? Even more, include the kids. Like, talk to them. Some don't even talk to the kids. They just,
however,
stick them in a room.
Don't get it. They shouldn't be in adult conversations.
No.
Like, enjoy them and have them in your conversations. Absolutely. The kids do not need to be in the adult conversations. When your child walks up in the middle of an adult conversation, I just want you to know, I think that is the rudest thing. They don't even have to be holidays. My 4 kids, I'm telling you what, if they'll get a look, you don't interrupt adults. So that is huge on the holidays. Just,
but you know, even adults don't teach their kids that or enforce that with their kids.
Because some of them don't see it as disrespect, and to me, that's one of the most disrespectful things.
The big thing now is, I give my kid a voice. Well, I mean, my children had voices too,
but they knew when to use them.
Yes, they did not use them in adult conversations because that's just something that you don't
see,
have.
I messed up with that with my first one because God love her, but Aubrey acts so much more mature than she is because she was the first, and then there was only adults around. So she will sometimes interject herself, and I'm like, screw it. You're still a kid.
You're still a kid.
Go back on down to the kiddie table because the adults are talking. But that was also, like I said, my fault but I will correct her in front of people, and she doesn't do it anymore. This was years ago, but it happens.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's rude every single time, but if it's constant,
it needs to be
rude.
Addressed. Yeah. And I will tell you, I will be the first one to say something to the Litlins about sticking their noses in if I'm around. Because
just don't tell her to say cornucopia.
Yeah, I can't say that.
I love you.
Okay. Here's one. Don't go into debt trying to make the holidays special. Yes, very much so. And I will add this too. Stop trying to compete with everybody that is online and social media and with what they're doing and what they're buying and what they're giving. Now, with that, I'm kind of torn with it because especially during the Christmas holiday season, I see so many people saying, quit telling your kid that their PlayStation, whatever the newest PlayStation is, came from Santa because other people can't afford that. And so their kid is wondering why Santa brought it to them and not them. I'm kind of torn on that. Like if Santa wants to, okay, so at our house, and I don't know how you all did it, but it's like for the Christmas holidays at our house, when I was growing up, my parents did not give us gifts. Everything we got came from Santa.
Oh, wow.
Now, I did change that with my kids. And because my daughter was like, Mom, why don't you ever give me anything? So I did have to change it with mine. And I would give them a little something, for me. And then everything else came from Santa. Now, when my youngest son came along, his dad wanted the credit for the more expensive. He's like, I want him to know that, that we got this for him.
Yeah.
So then we changed it again. And, one of the more expensive or the bigger presents came from us. And then the rest of it came from Santa. But I mean, what does it matter? Yes, I get it. It makes other people feel bad. But I don't know. I'm torn with that.
Most children that, this is going to sound so bad, but it's true because it's how when I was growing up, when we were little, most kids that don't get the nicer things are more appreciative.
I get
they're more grateful.
Yes.
And I think that is why that don't matter because, yes, we do give more, like Santa gives, a little bit cheaper gifts at our house, but we usually do our bigger gifts from us. However, it is because we have a child that is special needs and she does take that stuff to heart. And so we have to be considerate of, I have a kid in my home like that. So I want to make sure that I don't make another kid feel the way that she would feel. Because even though my other kids would understand, she doesn't.
Right.
So that is where I feel I'm torn because I don't think it matters, but then I do. So I think it just do what fits your family.
Right.
And then my kids know they better not brag. I will be the first one.
And there is a huge difference between bragging and getting excited over what they got for Christmas.
Don't be boastful. My kids.
But also teach your kids not to be rude if somebody is excited over whatever an easy bake oven that they got or whatever.
If, a kid, gets the newest PlayStation, and then there's another kid that gets a bicycle because there is a huge price difference there. Why does it matter?
Yeah. Why can't why can't they? I can never remember a time when I was growing up that any of my friends talked about what they got for Christmas. When we would talk, back and forth about what we got for Christmas, I never remember a time thinking, Santa doesn't love me because I didn't get what they
I
got.
don't remember it being
I
like
don't
that
ever.
either. And I know that I'm trying to think of how to word it without sounding so bad, but my kids know if they're speaking to one of their friends that are maybe less fortunate, or if they're the less fortunate ones, it doesn't matter. Regardless, do not. If that person is super excited about a coloring book and you got the PlayStation,
Mm-hmm.
you better be just as excited for that child, and don't you
Yes.
dare bring up that PlayStation, because that to me
Just
is being boastful.
just share the excitement.
Share their excitement.
Yeah.
And I think that's that comes with the raising, because that is a parent thing. That's something us as parents have to work on, because my kids are I beat that into their brains, like to be grateful,
considerate,
and considerate.
Mm-hmm.
Because your friends may not have what you have, and you may not have what some of your friends have.
And that's how I feel like I want to say that I've taught my kids. I don't
like
remember.
To think you teach them.
Yeah, I can't remember really either one of my children talking too much about what they got, during the holidays or anything, besides other to myself, or if it was like a really, really close friend.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something that's just
or family. Grandparents will get excited for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
And maybe that's what it was like. Because honestly, I can't remember. Of course, social media has freaking ruined everything, in my opinion, as far as that goes. But I don't really remember like going to school and
bragging about what you got.
Yeah, talking about what I got for Christmas.
Yeah, I know we'd brag about if we got something we got hurt on.
Yeah.
Oops.
That you got hurt, not that it was.
It was funny because it was like, oh.
But yes, don't go.
How'd your
don't
winter
go
break go?
Trying to make the holidays special. You can make the holidays special.
Well, and to play on that with Thanksgiving, it's okay if you can't bring a more expensive dish.
Mm-hmm.
Bring what you can afford. And if you can't afford to bring something, if it's my Thanksgiving, guess what? Don't bring anything. I will make extra, because to me, because one of the dishes I make is so expensive. It's like $60 to make this potato salad. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy making it. I make it every holiday because everybody enjoys it. But $60, that's a lot of money for one dish. And it's because I make so much to make sure there's plenty. But
which I don't cook. I don't like to cook. So I will.
You get boiled water.
Buy something or get like a pack of cookies and bring it,
like, I was going to say the pistachio pudding that I make, that's like $10, $15. I mean, there is cheaper options, but don't feel like you have to bring this extravagant dish.
Or that you have to bring any dish.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, bring something if you can, or bring a thank you note. Just that.
And just talk to the person throwing the party, because most of the time, the person throwing it's going to be so understanding. Don't feel like you're beneath anybody because of that.
Now, see, we have every year we started it. Actually, we didn't start it. Jerry started it, which was the previous owner of Long Branch. He had Thanksgiving down here at the bar, and it's open. We keep carrying that tradition on for him in honor of him, but it is open to anybody who wants to come and eat. If you want to bring a dish, then you bring a dish. If not, come in and eat with us anyway. That is geared more towards the ones that don't have, I guess, family, because that's too. If you don't have a family, you don't have family or anywhere you can go, come and hang out with us. Because that's what we are down there. We're family. We are family.
You come as a friend, leave as family.
Offer to help in the kitchen,
or don't.
Well, if you are at my nanny's, I will not offer. I will not offer to help. I will taste the food.
The water.
I will taste the food for you. I'll offer that. But in my nanny's kitchen, you stayed out of her way.
You just reminded me of something. You'll taste the food. There was this TikTok I was watching. It was so funny. They was like tasting it out of a spoon, and the person was like, it needs more salt. So the person added salt, and the person kept the spoon in their hand and tasted it again without dipping it again. And it was like, it needs more salt. And the mom at the end, she comes in and she like sticks the spoon in there and tastes it, and she like spits it everywhere because it's
too
full
salty.
of salt. Oh my gosh, you just reminded me of that. That was so funny. But yeah, I know we used to make my grandmother, she would bring like celery and peanut butter and cream cheese and stuff, and we would sit at the dining room table and make those. And it's a good way to keep the kids busy. Just make sure they wash their hands first, because that's a big thing. But if you can help. If you can't, stay out of the way.
Well, and offer to help. Let's do it that way. Offer to help, because again, some, especially the older generations, the grandmas and the grandpas. The grandpas, I don't never remember seeing in the kitchen. But the grandmas, they don't want you in the kitchen. My mom was the same way. She didn't really want us in the kitchen under her feet. So I guess that's something that I need to be mindful to, if I go to a place, because I'm so used to staying out of the way that I don't offer for help. Again, I will taste it for you.
With the same spoon.
I will dip it twice. I'll double dip.
She's double dipping. She ain't even gonna trade the spoon out. She's like, I got you. And I don't remember any of the men ever being in the kitchen ever until it was time to fix your plate.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, that comes back to, not wanting the older generation, not wanting you under their feet, especially when you're younger. That is why a lot of my generation does not know how to fix a turkey.
I can't fix a turkey.
I cannot fix a turkey. No. I have no idea where to even start. I'd probably burn my house down. I'll give it a good shot, but I'm probably going to burn my house down and poison you with raw meat.
Yeah. I can. I'm iffy about cooking chicken. I could not imagine a whole ass turkey.
I can see you trying though.
I don't think I would.
I'd see the smoke from New Haven, Bloomfield be on fire.
No, I'm not. I don't cook. I don't like to. I can cook. There's a difference. I always tell my husband there is a difference. I can cook. I don't like to cook.
I don't like to cook either, but I will.
So Justin says naps should be frowned on after eating.
Oh, as he sits there snoring.
How did Gary say? Does he nap? I mean,
yes.
My husband naps. I know he does.
So I was talking about us going to my ex-in-laws. I kid you not, every one of her chairs is a recliner. So the couch has 2 recliners. Then there's the love seat that has 2 recliners. The recliner. The men will sit there in the recliners with their feet up and their hat pulled down over their eyes, snoring while we're in the kitchen having a great old time playing games or cleaning up or whatever. And they're snoring so loud you can hear them in the other room. My father.
Oh, but they're just resting their eyes. That's what my dad used to say. He's just resting his eyes.
Resting their eyes and calling to the bears.
Cindy Halbert says cook it in an electric roasting pan. Oh, I guess in the turkey. We cook it in the.
Well, we're not putting you in the turkey. In the turkey.
In the turkey. We won't put you in the turkey.
You all would have had to have been here 10 minutes before we started. That's why we're so late starting.
Very tongue tied today. Very twisted.
It's been a hoot.
Communication is a huge thing, and that is something that I cannot stress enough on. To communicate the times, the places, if you are bringing something, what you're going to be bringing.
Yeah, because nobody wants 2 dishes of potatoes or green beans or corn or macaroni and cheese. I'm trying to think of all the popular ones.
You can never have too many mac and cheeses, I don't think.
I don't know. It depends on how you cook it.
Yeah. The good mac and cheese.
I'm picky.
Danny says we don't appreciate you ladies talking about us men. We don't appreciate you men napping. But yes, communicate. Let people know if you're going into a place, if you're bringing something, what you're bringing.
Hey, Shirley, I'm bringing the potato salad and pistachio pudding tomorrow.
If you are hosting, let your guests know what time, where to be at, and don't show up late. I think that is so rude. And this is coming from somebody who is always late. Besides this one here,
I was here early today.
I was late.
I was.
But I do think that it is kind of rude to show up somewhere late.
It's because I was hungry.
Especially dinner.
I know. But I was hungry today. That's why I was early. I needed food. Yeah, I know, because I had to ask her if I had food in my braces. By the way, it's rude if you don't tell people they got food in their teeth.
Or on their face.
Yeah, please do. Because I hate when I'm talking and I got food in my braces.
I will always tell you.
Thank you.
Don't be overly critical.
Yes. You've gained weight. You've lost weight. Oh, you're single again? Oh, is this the new flavor of the week?
Yeah. Or this turkey's too dry. I don't like the seasoning on these potatoes.
Guess what? If the turkey's dry, you add something to it. Because there's
Cook
always
it
gravy,
yourself.
or you grab some mayonnaise. I'll dip if I have
Ew.
I love turkey. You don't eat turkey sandwiches with mayonnaise?
I don't eat mayonnaise.
Well, that's because you don't eat ketchup either, because you're weird. But anyways, you can add stuff, or you can mix stuff. You can do anything, and if you don't like it, leave it on your plate. Because honestly, if you get my potato salad put on your plate and you don't like it, leave it on your plate. Don't choke it down. I'd prefer you just throw it in the garbage. You're not going to hurt my feelings because we all have different taste.
Yeah.
I'd prefer you taste it and not like it.
But okay, so this goes with the next one.
Don't overindulge.
Yes. Don't fill your plate up to where it is falling over, and then not even eat most of it.
Mm-hmm. And you can
That's
always
very
go back
wasteful.
for seconds. You make sure everybody
Just make
gets
sure
the plate
everybody eats first. But don't be overcritical. We're skipping on. That just got me on that one.
Well, we already had to X off a few and we passed up. But that's that to me is so rude, because I've gone places where we used to call it Grandma's house on Christmas Day. That's the only place we would go, and it was all of our family. So there's like 50 people in this heated garage, and there was tables everywhere, just tons of people. You would have people stacking their plates, and there's so many of us that it was like, don't be so rude. Don't be greedy with the food, because I want to taste it too.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just a bite, I just want to taste it. I mean, I'll fill up on pecan pie. You ain't gonna make me mad eating the good food. I will fill up on pecan pie.
But when I was growing up, I remember I had a cousin who would always fill his plate, I mean, to the top. Oh, but he would cover everything in ketchup. Everything.
Okay.
Everything on his plate. Mm-mm. He put ketchup on everything. And then would come and sit next to me. That's disgusting.
Well, and how could you taste like even corn and stuff?
Everything that he put on his plate, he put ketchup over it.
He okay?
No.
I didn't think so.
Mm-mm. Not at all.
Even turkey?
Yes. Whatever was.
I'm gonna literally sit here and go, broccoli casserole?
Like, yes. Everything that was put on his plate, then he would just take a bottle of ketchup and just.
I'm literally gonna go through all the food and be like, ketchup.
But you know what? We didn't have broccoli casserole at our things. I did not know. I had never ate a broccoli casserole until I moved here.
Oh my gosh, my grandma used to make the best, and then my aunt took over when she got older, and I'm telling you, oh, I miss their broccoli casserole.
I love broccoli casserole now. Now, before I moved here, and even after I moved here, and people, because that seems to be like a pretty common dish to bring to something, but when I first started going to places that had that, I was like, no. Like,
well, and if you eat it like Cracker Barrel, I don't like it.
See, I like the Cracker Barrel one. I think that is where I actually ate maybe my first one, because they put chicken in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good.
My grandma could cook, and I'm telling you what, she would add like the extra cheese and stuff.
Now, I had a supervisor at my previous job, and she could make a very good broccoli casserole.
We're going to talk about
broccoli casserole
for 5 minutes. We might not want to talk about broccoli casserole anymore.
I'm hungry.
I know. No, I'm not hungry. I just ate.
Offer to help clean up.
Yes.
Always help. Even offer to help. Even if you're told no, at least ask if you can do something.
I don't even ask, because my mother-in-law, she'll be sitting there kind of just putting the dishes in the dishwasher, and I'll just grab the rag and start cleaning off everything, because I mean, I bring 4 kids when I go somewhere. Mm-hmm. I'm not leaving a mess wherever I go. And God love her, because she'll always say, don't worry about that, I'll get it. Don't worry about that, I'll get it. And I'm like, I brought 4 kids into this mess.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not leaving it that way.
Now, again, this goes back because, I mean, most of our holidays was spent at my nanny's house. And she didn't want us in the kitchen. So even if we offered to help or tried to go in to help, I mean, she ran you out. There was no... because that was her kitchen.
My kitchen.
Yeah, it was her kitchen. She wanted it her way. Mm-hmm. And it did not matter if we followed right in her footsteps. It was wrong because we were the ones doing it.
Yeah. So, and I mean, nobody complains pretty much when I start cleaning, because I'm so OCD. I'll get it cleaner than it was before we came. But yeah, don't get under somebody's feet. Help clean them up if they want it. If not, don't help clean them up. Yeah. Don't clean them up. That's just weird.
That's
help clean up.
Rude too.
Yeah, you don't want to. Let me clean your face off. No, but you don't want to get under their feet and step on their toes. But if you can help, because I don't know about your family, but we had several rooms where people would congregate. So
here's a question that just popped in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you're having a gathering at your house, and let's say nobody offered, like you're cleaning up now, nobody offered to clean, would you ask for help?
No.
I would.
I think it's because I don't even like people helping me clean any. Like I just
like
prefer doing it on my own, only because there's so many people, for lack of better words, they half-ass everything. And I'm the type of person, when it's going to be done, it's going to be done right. And so if somebody is going to help me, if I'm going to have to do it again anyway, just scooch that out of my way, because unless you're a neat freak, and then join in.
Yeah, I think I would probably, if I got overwhelmed with it.
I just scrubbed the floors over there at the bar.
I know.
I can't help it. When I get started on something and my mind's on something,
I can't stop.
Yeah. But what are you gonna do? Tell me not to clean?
I tried. It didn't work.
No, it didn't.
No chomping food with your mouth
biting your fork. Don't chomp and don't bite. I don't want to hear every bite you take.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy my food too. I can't even focus on the taste of my food because I'm hearing your food.
Or when you talk with your mouth open
I cover my mouth, but I because you know me, I'll get going and we'll be talking about something and I'm like, because I'll cover my mouth. But yeah, don't be spitting your food out everywhere while you're trying to talk.
Like she said, at least cover your mouth.
If I don't bring it up right then, I'm gonna forget it. So I just kind of keep going with conversation. But yeah, don't chomp. Nobody wants to hear your food. And I sure don't want to hear you bite your fork because it makes me cringe.
Hi, RJ. Happy ham day to you, too. So you don't like turkey?
Ham day.
You're not a turkey person?
I'm more of a ham person, too.
I like ham.
I'm more of a ham
person. But I love me turkey. I love turkey. That's like my favorite thing to eat.
I like turkey
during the holidays.
But I don't like turkey as much as I like ham. I'm more of a ham person.
Well, I love my turkey.
So happy ham day, RJ.
Talk about your goals in life. So they are saying that you should talk about what you want, what you inspire to be, do, want, and to have in life with your family.
Have an enlightening conversation, not a boastful one. But no dirty bird, RJ. No dirty bird. So we go for the dirty pig. I mean,
dirty,
right? One rolls around in the dirt though. But don't brag about what you've achieved. Right. Talk about it. I mean, I love to hear what people have achieved, but there's a way to talk about things without sounding like you're being arrogant.
Right.
Because nobody likes somebody that's arrogant.
And you don't, if somebody is excited, that goes back to the whole gifts and stuff. If somebody's excited about something that they're doing in life, be excited for them. I mean, it takes zero amount of effort to encourage somebody. Yeah.
Because apparently I have RBF really bad. But I swear I'll be excited for you. Even if my face doesn't.
That's just when you're listening. After you get done listening, then you're like, oh, that's great. It all changes.
I know. It's like you can't walk up to me because I look like the meanest person. Then you talk to me and you're like, she's the biggest airhead. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of a time, but we talked about our company growing, Next Gen, and there is a way to talk about things without sounding like you're bragging or sounding like you're above.
Yeah. I can't stand that. Don't try to brag or belittle people.
Oh gosh.
Just because that
you're not as good as me because you haven't achieved this or you haven't done this.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, I know.
Encourage whatever goals and happiness that you've got, but don't belittle somebody if they maybe. I mean, everybody's goals in life is different.
Yeah, and I mean, like right now, we have our set people that are supporting us so much, and like I don't brag about us doing a podcast. However, I do get excited about it, and I think that there's a difference. You can tell when somebody is just genuinely excited, or somebody is like, "Look at what I'm doing that you're not doing."
Right.
And
there is a difference.
There is a huge difference. And I'm sorry, but if you know me, I don't have it in me to be boastful but I do get excited about things. So that I guess that could come across as that.
Okay, so one of our other readers.
We got 2 pages.
Yeah, we're carrying over. And you all feel free, if you're watching us live on Facebook right now, chime in. Let us know if there's any do's or don'ts or any kind of anything that you all got going on in your family or your life or whatever. So this one says, have a mutual gathering spot to talk other than the kitchen. Now, see, we always kind of
the dining room or the living room.
Yeah, but in my nanny's house, the kitchen was like where her stove and stuff was like right here, but the kitchen table was right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now the adults would sit at the kitchen table.
That's how my in-laws is.
And then the kids, we would kind of either go outside and play or in the living room or whatever. As an adult, we always just sat around the kitchen table.
Yeah, as long as you were out of the way, that's all that mattered.
Yeah.
But when you have bigger gatherings and stuff, have several places people can go. Because God love my niece Maddie, but her boyfriend's loud. So if you're trying to have a conversation around him, my head will float into his conversation. And I'll sit there and what was I saying?
Nosiness, trying to listen to what he's saying too.
I can't help it. I cannot help it. I don't know why I'm like that, but it's nice to be able to have conversation elsewhere. Because, and sometimes, I want to have a deeper conversation with maybe my sister-in-law or, my niece about the babies or my mother-in-law or whoever. And it's nice to be able to have those spots to be able to speak to each other without, because it's not secret stuff, but it's nice to be able to have that conversation and just.
And it doesn't have to be made like it's secret. You don't have to, like it's a secret.
You just want to enjoy that conversation with that person. And if you're like me, my head will float to another conversation. It doesn't matter where I am, what I'm doing.
Because you're squirrel.
I squirrel everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's not on purpose. And I don't mean to be nosy, but I sure will know what 2 tables down is doing. And I'm not on purpose. If I get quiet, I'm listening to somebody else's conversation.
No, my husband does that.
I can't help it.
We go into a restaurant and he can't talk directly with me because he's trying to hear what the people next to us are talking about and what they're saying.
I don't do that.
I mean, I'm nosy, but I'm not that nosy. I'm not that extent
I
nosy.
just will float into somebody else's conversation, not even on purpose, not realizing I'm doing it. That's how Justin and I met. I was walking past him, and the guys he was with had said something as I was walking past that caught my ear, and I turned around and just started talking to him. And then I pointed at him and was like, "Are you single?"
Inserted yourself in the conversation.
And not even on purpose, but that's just like. If something catches my ear, I will float to that conversation every time.
So then on the flip side of that, because you were just saying, maybe you wanted to have an in-depth conversation about the babies or something like that. Yes, have another spot where it's okay for you to go, but also don't have those secretive conversations. Because, every family needs
you're talking about it.
Yes.
Like them.
You need everybody in the family. Of course, if you've got a close family, you're going to have that. You're going to have those conversations. But there's a time and a place for them.
There's a time and a place, and you got a phone.
Yeah.
And if it's that important, guess what? Go visit them.
Yeah. You don't have to pull them to the side and make everybody else in there so uncomfortable.
Because they don't know. You're talking about somebody.
Yeah.
Even if you're really not, you're just talking about something you want to talk to that person in general, but it seems like you're talking about that person because that's what it feels like. I'm guilty of that too. Like feeling like because people are being kind of secretive, it's about me.
So what kind of conversation, and I'm curious of you all out there listening to us too, what conversations is a do not even attempt to have while you're
religious
at the family? And see, everybody says political. Everybody says political. I do not ever remember anybody talking about anything political when I was growing up.
It's gotten worse.
But I think my whole family was on the same page anyway, politically. So maybe that was it. I don't know.
But it's hard for people these days to agree to disagree, and you're a bad person if you're on the other side. And I think that is why I bring up religion or politics, because that is one thing that it's very hard to agree to disagree, especially if you're not going to open your ears and listen to that person. And
religion, you said religion, that's another thing.
Yes. Which we were all the same religion, so that wasn't a big deal growing up. But you don't, any of those controversial topics, you don't bring up your life problems.
Yeah, that drives me crazy.
Because
if you're a complainer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just as a Debbie Downer.
Well, that's not saying don't because clearly the people you're with, that's your family, you love them and you want to talk to them. And sometimes you need to talk to them about things going on in your life. But that's a holiday. That is where you're joining to enjoy each other's company.
Mm-hmm.
And
be
that
thankful for the family. Yeah. Everything that's around you.
And you can have that conversation without
taking it into a family gathering.
Yes.
I feel like.
Because it gets awkward for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you sit there and you talk about your life problems. And then it's kind of like, well, by the way, I'm getting divorced, or I lost my job, or I'm going to lose my house, or something like that. And then this other person's excited because they're just newly engaged, or they just got a promotion. And it's like, I don't even want to talk about the good things happening in my life
because there's so much bad. Yeah, I just think that, if you're able to. I know some people are not able to, and it does affect them emotionally and mentally, and I understand that. But if you're able to, then don't bring up anything negative.
Don't bring up any controversial things.
Yeah,
because that's not fun for anybody.
Smoking. So here's one, because I'm a smoker.
This is the one I brought up to you.
I'm a smoker and you are not.
Mm-mm.
Now, we do not smoke. I don't smoke around. I try not to smoke around anybody who doesn't smoke. Especially get-togethers like this. But I also will not smoke while I'm eating. Then that was one of your biggest things, because you're like, I just don't want nobody to smoke around me while.
Yeah. Well, and I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. So it'll get me to sneezing and everything else. And
you're just trying to enjoy
I just want to enjoy my food.
Yeah.
Because I grew up around smoking. My dad's a chain smoker. He loves his cigarettes, and that was a holiday thing. But now I'm pretty strictler on that.
And I had uncles that would smoke. Strictly.
I said strictly.
I had uncles that smoked. But they either went outside and smoked. Now, at my nanny's house, you did not smoke in her house at all. So they did go outside and smoke. And I think most people are okay with that, going outside. But if you do smoke in your house, I mean, be polite. And a lot of people say, well, this is my house. I can do whatever I want. Yes, but you are also inviting other people into your home to enjoy a holiday, or, a family get-together, a family gathering. Don't make it awkward for them or uncomfortable, or just don't.
No, and that's not even me. I don't care if you smoke. But while I'm trying to enjoy my food, let's kind of...
Don't do it at the dinner table.
No.
Or while you're eating.
Yes. Yeah, I don't want to smell it.
So we went over the don't eat everything. That goes into not filling your plate full of. And this one I think was another one that was just meant to be funny. So he says, don't eat the yams, but eat everything else.
And what is the difference between yams and sweet potatoes? Because I love sweet potatoes.
Are they not the same thing? They are, right?
I don't know.
I mean, I like sweet potatoes.
I do too, but I don't know about yams because I don't know if there's a difference.
I think so. Maybe.
Well, why would they have two different names?
Maybe the way they're cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because one's in a can.
It's still called broccoli casserole.
Maybe one's in. Let's find out. Hang on, guys.
Does anybody know if yams are different than sweet potatoes?
We are going to look it up.
Because I don't. But I know I like sweet potatoes. Isn't that bad? We should have looked that up prior.
I know, but that wasn't.
Sweet potatoes are sweeter. They are not the same. Oh, thanks, Danny.
So that's it?
Danny's like, y'all just don't know how to season things.
While often confused, sweet potatoes and yams are distinct vegetables with different appearances, textures, and flavors. Sweet potatoes tend to have a smoother skin, a sweeter taste, and typically orange in color, while yams have a rough, bark-like skin, starchier texture, and are usually white or purplish flesh with more neutral flavor. True yams are less common in most grocery stores and are typically found in specialty markets focused on African or Caribbean cruises.
So stay away from the yams.
But I feel like the yams are in the cans, right? That's what
There is yams in a can. There is absolutely yams in a can.
You know what? I'm going to freaking get some yams and see if they are like...
So Amber's like, you will eat the yams.
I won't trick you.
Not us. I'll stick to my sweet potatoes.
Yams aren't as sweet as sweet potatoes.
My mother-in-law makes the best sweet potato casserole I've ever had. So, which that's
I love sweet potato.
But that's what I was talking about. Like broccoli casserole, still broccoli casserole. You don't hear yam casserole. I'm sure it's out there. She's gonna sit here and do some research. So
Well, that because I thought they were the same thing.
I told you I didn't think they were.
All this time, I thought that like the sweet potato was actually, and I know that you can get sweet potatoes in a can too, but I thought that the sweet potato was actually like a potato.
You know what? I think I have accidentally bought yams before because I put marshmallows and stuff in my sweet potatoes, and I'm pretty sure it was really bad. I think it sucked.
So you've had the yams in a can?
I think so. Maybe that's where I messed up that one time at dinner. I wasn't paying attention. I just grabbed the can that looked like the sweet potatoes. Sorry, I didn't mean to kick you.
That's why I thought that they were all the same. That's why.
You can't do a yam pie.
Oh, but you can have a sweet potato pie.
Danny.
I've never had a sweet potato pie.
You're darn tootin'.
Never had a sweet potato pie. Okay, guys. So that pretty much goes. I've never had one. I guess it's like a sweet potato casserole.
Well, Danny's already said he had one that wasn't going to make it to dinner, so.
You're darn tootin'.
I didn't tell me though.
That pretty much covers all of the do's and don'ts. Also, we want to just throw this out here because we know that holidays are extremely tough for some people, mentally, physically, emotionally, like all of the above. Maybe you've lost someone recently.
Even if it's not so recent.
Yeah, or in the past, and it still just affects you. Holidays in general, sometimes people get seasonal depressions and they have a hard time coping through the holidays, and
it's very real.
Yes, it is. It's very real. Some people are very, very alone during the holidays. Be mindful of that. But if you need somebody to talk to, we do highly recommend T. Freeman with Highly Favored Productions. She also has a podcast where she talks about the mental challenges of life. So she is at renewminds33@gmail.com. T is a wonderful, wonderful, easy person to talk to.
She ain't like Dan. Danny's mean.
She is, she gives,
Just kidding.
She can give great advice. She can be a great listener, help you spiritually. She is a spiritual coach. So if you are struggling and you just need maybe that extra somebody through the holidays, reach out to T. She'll be there for you.
You really can. And she's very easy to talk to. She may have that RBF like some of us do, but once you cut the surface open, you will find a whole new person. I think.
I think she's very easy to communicate with.
Yes, very, and very welcoming. So it helps. But yeah, don't feel alone. It is it's way more common than you believe with seasonal depression and things like that. A lot of people like to think that it's not, and it is. It's very, very common.
It is. So yeah, absolutely. If you need anything out there, we do recommend reaching out to T. She's wonderful. She's there for you if you need it. We do appreciate you all tuning in. Now we are live today. It will drop on all of our social media listening devices, iHeart, Spreaker, all the streaming devices on Friday at 1:00. So make sure that you tune in, download, and follow us. We have all of our social medias, Instagram, Facebook.
Everything is on our Facebook account. So anything you need to find, it's there.
It's there. You all have a wonderful holiday season and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, everybody.
All.
Here's your Kevin.
That was great.
Oh, jeez. Meet Danny, everybody.
Our wonderful producer. See how we get treated?
Yes,